airline passengers who faced involuntary denied boarding from October to December 2016. The rating is from 12, the best or lowest rate of denied boardings, to number 1, which is the worst or highest rate of denied boardings. So number 12, which is the best, I didn't put this together, Hawaiian Airlines, then Virgin America, Delta Airlines, Spirit Airlines, Alaska Airlines, United Airlines was number 7, Frontier Airlines, American Airlines, Southwest Airlines, SkyWest Airlines, JetBlue Airlines, and the worst airline in this survey by the Department of Transportation in the USA was ExpressJet Airlines. But not one to be left out, Canada has also become part of the denying boarding conversation, but both for good and bad reasons. Canada says it will tighten up legislation on overbooked flights to set clear minimum requirements for compensation. Canada's transport minister said that the government will include a passenger bill of rights, making compensation rights more transparent. This was first announced last year, but the government has restated its position in view of the uproar over the United Airlines incident. The bill is expected to clearly detail compensation applicable when passengers are denied boarding due to factors within an airline's control. In 2008, Canada introduced Flight Rights Canada, which is a voluntary code of conduct which relates to a standard of care and compensation given to customers during delays, flight cancellations and overbookings. Air Canada says it has a policy of overbooking, but says bumped passengers were rare. The quote is, "We appreciate this is an inconvenience for customers, and we do take a very conservative approach to avoid this situation arising, and when it does, we pay significant compensation." However, Air Canada has had to apologise after giving a 10-year-old boy's seat up to somebody else. Cole Dial and his family had planned a trip to Costa Rica, but the first leg of the journey was overbooked. The family travelled to 2 other airports and spent an extra $1,000 Canadian dollars, £950, to get a flight. The airline has now offered them compensation. A spokesperson told the Canadian press news agency, "We are currently following up to understand what went wrong. We apologise to Mr. Doyle and his family, as well as offered a very generous compensation to the family for their inconvenience." Marcus Fermi, a UK country manager of flight delays compensation firm Air Help, said, "Flyers are less likely to get bumped if they are frequent travellers with the airline they are travelling with. So signing up to frequent flyer programs is one way to decrease the chances of being bumped off from an overbooked flight. Flying off peak, those choosing to fly early in the morning versus later in the evening are also less likely to board an overbooked flight." As I mentioned before, I very nearly got bumped off a flight to Nairobi, but I had somebody waiting for me at Nairobi airport and there's no way I could have been delayed. That's the closest I've ever come to it. What about you? I've asked before, have you ever been bumped off a flight? Was you compensated? Was you happy with the compensation? Did you haggle? Let me know. Facebook.com/John Guinn Travel Show.
If you're going abroad by plane, boat, or the family car. If you're going abroad for pleasure or business. There's one essential thing to do before you go. Check the expiry date on your European Health Insurance card. You can renew it up to 6 months before it expires. Visit nhs.uk/healthcare abroad or call 0845 606 2030. Bon voyage!
You can follow me on Twitter @holiday_hut. The storm around President Trump's US travel ban has damaged the US brand, according to experts. The study has forecast that the travel ban could spark a 10.6 million decline in number of visitors to the US between this year and next. As I've already said last week, I'm not going. Anywho, Tourism Economics predicts the drop, which it expects to be nearly 7% of the expected travellers and could cost the US economy $18 billion and 107,000 jobs. More than half the anticipated drop would be caused by reduced travel from Mexico and Canada. But tourism economics experts say that they're also concerned about declines from the UK and other countries in Western Europe. Meanwhile, CNN has reported that business travellers are looking elsewhere. A survey by the Global Business Travel Association found that nearly half of business travel managers are expecting to cut back on meetings and conferences in the US. Is the USA on your no-fly list at the minute because of the travel ban and the TSA and maybe having to give your passwords up? And let me know whether you're going to go or not at facebook.com/John Guinn Travel Show. So, according to the post office, wallet watchers looking for a holiday where their pounds were stretched furthest should head for Bulgaria. And this is because of the post office's Travel Money Holiday Costs Barometer. This compares the cost of 19 European beach resorts. And according to the report, there's tumbling prices in Sunny Beach and have made the Black Sea resorts even cheaper than a year ago, and the best bet for a bargain break for the 4th year running. At around £37, the post office barometer basket of 10 tourist staples, which is lunch and evening meals, drinks, sun cream, insect repellent and a daily newspaper, costs 10% less in Sunny Beach than last year, despite the weaker pound. An evening meal for two with the wine will set UK visitors back less than £20, while lunch for two is under £6 and sun cream is cheaper than the lowest priced UK bottle at £3.72. The research also found that tourist costs in Sunny Beach are lower than any time in the last 5 years. Andrew Brown of Post Office Travel Money, which accounts for 1 in 4 of all UK foreign currency transactions, said, "Tour operators have already reported that holidays to Bulgaria are selling like hotcakes, and our research makes it clear that Sunny Beach will offer cash-strapped holidaymakers unbeatable value this year. Meal costs are really the deciding factor in Bulgaria's favour. Over the course of a week's holiday, lunch and evening meals for two will cost less, around £175 in Sunny Beach, but this could mushroom to over £600 in more expensive resorts in France or Italy. If you haven't already booked a holiday, do your homework and find a resort that which best fits your budget." The Algarve is again runner-up resort to Sunny Beach, although holiday costs are 56% higher than in Bulgaria at just over £58. The Portuguese hotspot remains the cheapest of 14 Eurozone resorts in the survey, and around £2 cheaper than the Costa del Sol, which was in third place. Prices in both destinations are less than half of those in Ibiza at £131, the most expensive resort in the survey. In the Eastern Mediterranean, Marmaris at £68 is the cheapest of 7 resorts in Turkey. Turkey, Greece, Cyprus and Malta. Although local prices have risen 11% in a year, the Turkish lira is the only European country to have weakened against sterling, and a 15% year-on-year dip in its value makes the barometer basket in Marmaris 4% cheaper than 12 months ago. The same 10 barometer items cost 40% more, £95 in Malta. Post Office Travel Money researchers again found the wide cost variations between resorts in the same country. In Spain, the Costa del Sol remains a bargain choice for UK holiday makers, but they can expect to pay 25% more for the barometer items in Costa Blanca at £76. Prices in Mallorca at £89 are 47% higher than in the Costa del Sol, although they are almost a third cheaper than they are in Ibiza. There are also differences between the 4 Greek islands surveyed in the Holiday Costs Barometer. Crete, which was 9th in the table, was the cheapest at just under £82. Zante at £82, it's a few pence more. Kefalonia is £84, but the people visiting Corfu can expect to pay £90. As Brown said again, Greece is looking very popular this year, with tour operators reporting increases of up to 40% in bookings, but it will pay bargain hunters to factor resort costs into the overall price they will pay for their package. Swapping resorts could save a lot of money, and this applies to popular resorts all over Europe as well as in Greece. In Croatia, it's again cheaper at £79 or £109 depending on the resort you go to. The prices in the resort on Croatia's peninsula are 27% cheaper than the south of the country, and also 15% lower than 5 years ago. Brown again said, "Picking a resort where you will get the best bang for your buck is one way to protect your holiday purse, but there are others. Firstly, get holiday cash before leaving home to avoid poor rates at the airport or ATMs abroad. There are improved exchange rates when you change £500 or more, which is the average spent by UK tourists. So get enough cash in advance to avoid being charged for credit and debit card transactions made abroad. So let's go through the barometer and the falls and rises since 2012. Sunny Beach, Bulgaria, that's down 22%. Costa del Sol, 21, down 21. Porek, Croatia, 15%. Algarve, 9% down. Malta, 3% down. Paphos in Cyprus, 1% down. Corfu is up 7%. Marmaris in Turkey is up 16%. Nice in France is up 44%. And Sorrento in Italy is up 61%.
What about my phone call? I want to call my family.
Too late now.
Please, please, please.
Step through now, please.
Oh, no.
Too late now.
Here's the goods. You take them in false bottom bag, you strap them to your body, it's up to you.
Look, I've changed my mind. I want out.
Too late now.
So, you're offering me a free holiday?
Yeah,
I just have to bring back something for a friend of yours.
that's right. You get some serious cash.
Right.
Well,
Not too late. Don't get talked into trafficking drugs. Once you're in, the British government can't get you out. Don't throw your life away.
You can keep up to date with travel news and leave me a message at facebook.com/John Guinn Travel Show. And now for some travel tips. Ed Hewitt is the features editor at independenttraveller.com, and he has looked into what not to do when booking a hotel. After all, the hotel room is far more important than the flight. So if you follow Ed's hotel booking tips, he says you will get the best room at the best location at the best price. So tip number 1 is don't forget to check the exact hotel location. Ed talks about a hotel he found which had great restaurants nearby, a walking trail, a river walk, all within a half mile or so, but he didn't check the exact location of the hotel, which was actually on an interchange of a freeway. So it's like staying at a service station on the M1 or M56 or whatever. So had all these stuff we could go to, but he couldn't walk there because it was risking life and limb. So Ed suggests always checking the map of the hotel. Most booking sites have the maps, and you can also look at Bing's bird's eye view and also Street View from Google Maps. Number 2 is don't skip on the review sites. You should know as much as possible about the property before you hand over your money. And it's the best strategy for getting a hotel and a room, as there's always something you would never know without the help of people who have already been there. The tips and reviews might include noise, lousy food, problems with Wi-Fi, dated rooms and much more. Even the fact that the hotel is in the middle, it's like staying in a service station. You can find some good things too. Ed said before a recent stay he'd learnt about an affordable bike rental program at one hotel, and that tipped the balance in favour of that hotel, and he wouldn't have known about it without the review. Tip number 3 is don't forget to check if the hotel has an airport shuttle. It can get expensive getting to your hotel from the airport, even if you use Uber. And especially as quite a few airports are a long way from the city centre, especially if you fly Ryanair. So if you're looking at one hotel and comparing it to another one, see which one does a transfer and check and allocate that into the pluses and minus columns. If you're making your own way there by car, don't forget to check parking availability and the cost. Even if the hotel has parking available, it can come with a hefty price tag. It can be anywhere to $10 to $20, $35 or more a day to park there. If a hotel doesn't have its own parking, the cost can be even higher if you use other car parks. So do check about parking before you book the hotel. Number 5, don't forget to factor in the cost of breakfast. The actual per night difference between a hotel that offers a solid continental or even a full breakfast compared to one that offers an extra could be quite significant. So check. Are you better off getting a hotel